everyone and welcome to AquaDream. This month I decided to finally update and rebuild all my old aquariums. Some of them are very old and really need to be updated. The plants there are not growing very well now because the substrate is very old. And all this time I was busy with my new projects and I was lazy to start updating my old aquariums. And today we are going to update my biggest ball aquarium, low-tech nano ball aquarium. It's the biggest one and I created it 2.5 years ago. So now it still looks okay, but the plants are not very growing well now because the substrate is very old and I want to update a little bit Hardscape, add a new substrate and add new plants, so refresh that aquarium and I can enjoy its beauty for another 2 or more years. I'm not going to touch that bottom layer of the substrate, and the top layer of the substrate I'm going to remove from each of these aquariums, update with the new one and new plants. So let's take a look at today's aquarium that we are going to update. Alright, here is our bowl that is going to be updated completely today, and for this bowl I won't touch the piece of wood here, but I will rearrange the box. I'm going to use the same black lava rock as it is now here, but I'm going to use a few bigger pieces, new pieces, so you can see them, because at the moment you can't really see these rocks, and these rocks will be around that wood. On the wood I'm going to plant a few fresh Bucephalandra and Anubias. Most of the Anubias here is still fine and I'm going to reuse that Anubias which is here already, and some of these Anubias with long leaves, that one I'm also going to reuse again. This Kabomba doesn't look nice and fresh again because the substrate is very old, the tank is old. So I made this tank in September 2022. So, and the background plants, first I used rotala, and when you make your low-tech aquarium, the rotala actually requires a CO2, but in new low-tech aquarium it grows very, it's red, it grows fast, you cut it, you trim it often, and then it regrows, but it only continues for the first 6 or 8 months, and then rotala stop growing after a few cuttings, and it requires additional CO2 and nutritious substrate. So when the substrate gets old, the rotala stops growing. So I replaced that rotala to that green background plant, and I also cutted it a few times already. It has been growing very well, but now I also noticed that it stopped recovering fast. It stopped growing again because the tank is old, so we need to update it. And I got some new plants. I got, as always, one of the best plants for low-tech nano aquariums, especially with no filter like these bowls. The best plant is Cryptocoryne wendtii, Cryptocoryne Parva. I also got a few different species of Cryptocoryne. Cryptocoryne is the best plant for low-tech aquariums. I also got some Bucephalandra, as I said, and some fresh Anubias. That's all. So I'm going to arrange these new plants and the old plants from here in the new scape. The light, I'm going to use the same one as it is now. It's called Pixma, I think the name of this lamp. You can find in my stores this light. It's 20-watt light, and I'm not going to change it. I will keep it the same. Updating the tank actually takes a longer time than when you make a new one. I got out the fish from this tank and I think I got all of them. A few might be still inside, so if I see them I will catch them. I'm going to withdraw almost all the water and I'm going to take out all the plants, the top layer of the substrate, but because this bowl is now here on this table and you can see that it's surrounding with other aquariums, so it is not convenient for me to rebuild this aquarium here. So I'm going to take out all the water and all the plants and rocks, and then I will take that aquarium on another table. I will move it and rebuild it. Once the hardscape is ready with the plants, I'm going to put it back here and fill up with water. That's the plan, and yeah, it will take me the whole day, I think. So let's get started then. Alright guys, so no water inside. There are lots of snails inside, and I hope they all will be safe during the update, and I will save as many of them as possible. Otherwise I will buy some extra snails. So here is the big fern, which I'm not going to use for that tank. I just put it here from my last project, the leftover. I'm going to use it in another tank. Here is the mini Vallisneria, which is a great plant, but again, same as Rotala, it grows in fresh aquarium with the fresh substrate. It grows very well for the first around a year, and then it stops growing and it doesn't look very healthy. So I'm not going to use this mini Vallisneria anymore. Instead, I'm going to use the great stem plant which I have in many of my aquariums, which is Hemianthus Pearl weed. This is the great plant for low-tech aquarium as well. And you can see, because the aquarium is very old and the plants stopped growing in their full potential, you can see that the algae, some issues here. The algae started appearing on the wood, on the glass as well, so it doesn't look really nice. The Anubias is still looking good. I'm going to reuse it as well. And I got some tennellum as well, the grass, which will be a great growth for this tank. With the new substrate, it will grow very well. All the plants I'm going to show you a bit later. So now I'm going to remove all the plants from here, all the rocks, and the top layer of the sand and old substrate. Then I'm going to remove that aquarium from here and put it on another table, so it will be easier for me to rebuild it. Let's go. Now it's much easier to work with. So I'm going to remove the top layer of the substrate, and I'm going to fill up with water again, clean all the walls nicely because there's some algae. So now, before I put the new aquarium substrate, I'm going to add some leftovers lava rock, and for beneficial bacteria I think it needs some more, and I want to increase the level, the substrate level, and make it much higher than it was before. So let's place some lava rock. Alright, now I'm going to add the substrate. As always, I have two types, one in granules and another one is just regular aquarium soil. Alright guys, the hardscape is done. Nothing difficult, it was very quick. I just added 1 and 2 very big rocks, and all other rocks are old ones that have been here before. Alright, now I will cover everything with the sand and we start planting. I think the new updated sand will be amazing. Alright guys, these are the plants I have, but not all of them I'm going to use. So here are different species of Cryptocoryne. I found that one, look, it's a new one. I never used that one before. It's with long leaves like this and reddish stem. The names I'm going to try to identify this Cryptocoryne, and the name of that Cryptocoryne you will see in the description below. This also another species. I used that one before in my nano tank. Grows very nice and it looks beautiful. Cryptocoryne wendtii, I love that one, very nice plant. CO2, it doesn't require CO2 and much light, grows all the time very well and helps to clean up water and to keep your aquarium stable. I also have this Cryptocoryne Parva. Also a very nice plant. First, when you plant it, it will lose its leaves, but then new leaves appears and they will be much smaller than it is now, much shorter, and it looks like a carpet. So it's a very nice plant as well. Tennellum, I love this plant. One of the best plants for nano low-tech tanks as well. Grows very fast, very well. Helps, especially the first month, helps to clean up water. And yeah, it's a nice plant. Also, I got that fern, very beautiful one. I'm going to plant it as well. Some fresh new Anubias nano petite and some Bucephalandra, which I'm going to plant on the wood. Bucephalandra likes the fresh and clean water all the time, which these plants will help to keep, and so the Bucephalandra will like it and will thrive and feels good in the tank. So I'm planning to plant all the Cryptocorynes around the wood, around the rocks. Bucephalandra and Anubias will be on the rocks and on the wood, and the front and all around there will be tennellum, the grass which will cover everything around the rocks. Alright guys, I prepared a bunch of Cryptocoryne, all the species here already cleaned. All the roots are clean and ready for planting. Alright, let's see how much space will we have after planting all of that Cryptocoryne. Should be enough for other plants. Let's go. Okay guys, now it's time to plant the tennellum and Cryptocoryne Parva. Alright guys, that's what we have so far. Now it is time for our Bucephalandra and Anubias. As I told you, I got some new ones, and I also going to use the old Anubias that been there before, and also that one, the beautiful fern, I'm going to plant behind that piece of wood. Alright guys, we finished planting, so now it looks a little bit sandy. So I added some extra sun to be sure all the roots are covered fully with the sun. So I think that's all. I might add some stem plants for the background, and I want to add Hemianthus Pearl, which I have now everywhere and continue growing, so I can cut in any of my other tanks and place it here. Sorry for the noise. And I'm going to maybe plant some small bushes of that pearl wheat at the back. Alright, now I'm going to take that aquarium and move it to its spot and then fill up with water. Wow guys, I can't believe I did that. It's fully updated tank and I can't wait for it to grow in its full potential. This tennellum will grow very beautifully and all other plants as well. This pearl wheat at the back will grow very well and the water will be crystal clear in a few days. So even if this tank wasn't made from scratch, so there were already colonies, bacteria colonies at the bottom layer of the substrate, even though I'm going to change water every day as I always do for my new tanks, and adding bacteria and water conditioner as always after each water change. And I will add some fish and shrimp only in a few weeks, when I'm sure that all the plants are fully grown. And I think that the ecosystem will be very stable in this aquarium since I used a lot of Cryptocoryne here this time. Now I'm going to add bacteria and water conditioner and continue changing water every day until the water is crystal clear. Alright guys, so it's been 6 days already. I did the first video after 5 days, and the next day now I'm recording this video. And so I changed water every day because all the Cryptocoryne I planted adapted to a new environment. So it was losing, some of the leaves are melted and it's losing its leaves because it's adapting to a new environment. It was in an immersed form before, so now it's adapting to submerged form, and that's why the first 7 days of the new low-tech nano aquarium is the most important 7 days. So you have to closely observe your aquarium every single day and change water every day. You have to collect all the melted leaves. While you're changing water, you have to clean up these melted leaves because all of these melted leaves are creating the ammonia spikes, which are not good for other plants and for the whole ecosystem itself. As you can see, the tennellum has started growing here. You can see that the leaves are changing its shape and it's getting longer. Also the background plant, the pearl wheat, also showing the growth. It's photosynthesizing already. You can see the oxygen bubbles, which is a good sign. Bucephalandra and Anubias are very slow growing plant, but either way, look, the Bucephalandra started to appear new leaves here. You can see that one, a tiny one leaf appeared over there, and some of the Anubias new leaves as well, so which is a good sign. After 7 days you can already see that plants adapted to a new environment. They start growing slowly but surely, and usually after 7 days you can already reduce changing water, not every day but maybe every 2 or 3 days. It depends on each aquarium. As I said, you have to always observe your aquarium for the first 3 weeks, 4 weeks even. If you see any ammonia spikes, sometimes it looks like a white fog, white clouds you can notice in water. So if you notice that, that means that some of the plants are still melting, still adapting, so you have to collect all of these melted leaves and change water immediately. But as you can see, overall the water is crystal clear now. Everything looks very nice, very beautiful. I'm so satisfied with this new scape, and I can't wait for Cryptocoryne to grow in its full potential. It will become very big bushes, will look higher and very nice, and it will cover all of these empty spots here, and the grass will look so beautiful, and it will grow between all of these plants, Anubias and Cryptocoryne, so it will give that very natural, nice look to it. I have changed water today once again because I noticed some of the leaves melted. This here on this side, the Cryptocoryne still melts. Not all, but some of the leaves, they're melting, and once you remove them, you will notice that after a few days or a week there will new leaves appear. So you help your plants to give that new growth by removing all of these old and melted leaves. So you have to do it as soon as possible to keep your water fresh, clean, and also help your plants to regrow. So yeah, another few months and I will always make short videos of changing this aquarium as well on all my social media. So subscribe and follow this aquarium change, because in a few months you will not recognize this aquarium. This aquarium will look completely different than it is now. That's all for today, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, also follow me on my Instagram and TikTok page to see all the updates of all my aquariums. Also, don't forget that I made a list of all the equipment and hardware which I use for my aquariums, which you can also buy from AliExpress and Shopee platforms to your country. So go to the link down below and do your shopping. And I'll see you next time in new projects. Bye bye.